Alright, now we got them side by side. As you can see, this is the IT4s, the new version, and this is the older IT4. I'm going to try to turn them on at the same time so you can try to get a... see how fast they both come on. Up. That was kind of bad, but you kind of get the picture though. They both about the same speed and pretty nice. And I forgot to show you before, both of them have styluses that's built in to the top here, and that's pretty nice. So, as you can see over here, I already have my sensors hooked up, and the backlight's gonna time out. That's why I gotta keep on hitting them. But I have my sensors. I tried to hook them up already, so like that's what's viewing on the front here, and I haven't did anything to this one yet. So that's why this one's still empty. And it'll show you the your servo, like how far it is and everything. It has from 0 to 120%, and that's pretty nice. And that's on both of them. And you also have your throttle, and then you have your channel 3 button, and your channel 4 buttons. You have all these triggers, but the triggers you can actually like program those to do different functions and everything, and you know, like you gotta like read the manual a little bit. You could get a better like picture of what you can do with those triggers, and it has a lot to do with like speed, your throttle trim, your steering trims. You can like turn it up and down without actually going to that part of the menu. So like if you're driving, you want to do it while you're driving. You could hook up your triggers so you can do your steering trims, your throttle trims. You know, that's pretty dope. And you could use this with your car or with your boat too. So you know, that's pretty nice. And take it to the main menu. And from the looks of it, it all looks, you know, exactly the same. But there are some different things that the IT4s has that this one doesn't. And we'll get to that. So we got your reverse, so you can like reverse your channels. So like you don't want to move your wires around on your motor because you're going like reverse when you're supposed to be going forward. Just slide it and you're good to go. And back out of that. Then we have your endpoints. Sub trims. You can see this one already have my stuff set up for my Frankenstein. you could save up to 20 different RCs in the memory, and you could like name them all, and you could copy and then paste them on to like a different memory slot, so that if you want to have like, say you have like a crawler, and then like you want to do one thing, and then you want to go ahead and have to do something different without having to change the settings. All you do is just change the memory part, then you know, bam, there you go. And it also has settings for crawlers in there too, though. It's pretty nice. Let's see, steering exponentials, and you know, you have your rate and your exponentials, and you have this graph here where, so you want to pull it down some, it'll show you on the graph where it's at, and then you mess with this exponential, and that looks like with those IT-84 calculators, Texas Instruments. But anyway, let me go ahead and put this back. So there's your steering exponentials. And get the steering speed. It's all looking about the same. I don't know why this is set to 98. Let me go ahead and put that back to 100. I've been getting cheated the whole time. And steering mix. There's your crawler mode. Like I was saying before, you got your stuff here, your front side, your rear side, same phase, reverse phase. All your crawler guys. This is y'all remote right here. And let's see what else. Got the throttle neutral. You can set the dead zones and all this. There's a lot of stuff in here you can mess with, and you can see it graphically. Because you know, like with the here, let me go ahead and get one of these other ones. The thing I like about these is because this, for instance, is one of the stock red cat transmitters that I have, and you know, it's nice because it's 2.4 gigahertz and everything, and you know, like that's like better than the FM transmitters from what I'm hearing. And you can go ahead and set the throttle sensitivity and the steering sensitivity and the throttle trim all right here. And then you have your on button if it had batteries in it. But anyways, the thing is that here we go. Thing is that, like, you know, you have all this and you can do what you need to do, but you know, you have to open up and close this, and then, like, you know, you got to press the on button, and you press the on button, you might hit one of these knobs, and you know, you hit the knob, and then now all your settings are totally off. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to do it all over again, and you're like, man, you know, that sucks. But right here, once you set what you set, you know, it's set. You get at that screen, you're not gonna mess with it. You driving, you good to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty good right there. You got your throttle curve. Don't really mess with this too often, but it's there if you need it. If you know what you're doing, because you don't want to mess your stuff up. You know what I mean? And got your ABS, which is pretty cool. You know what I mean? When I was reading the instructions, it was saying like how it sends pulses so that it could like help save the. You just gotta read it. I can't remember right now, but basically you can adjust it to how you want it, and you know, you want to make sure that you preserve your gears and preserve your ESC and preserve everything you can. You got your throttle speed. Fuck, I already went through that. And the throttle middle, so you can actually adjust on the servo, like where do you want the middle position to be. So like you could like have it to be, like I think you could use this more like for some of the gas RCs and like nitro, to where like, you know, you have the servo messing with your throttle and your brake. So that like if you want to create like a different kind of drag brake, you can, you know, bring it back towards the brake side, and so when you're, you know, jamming down on the gas and everything, and you take your finger off the throttle, then it'll go back to the, you know, neutral position that you set. And if you set that neutral position back where the brake is engaged, you have your automatic drag brake right there. So that's pretty nice. Can't do that with that other one though, can you? No. And then you just slide over to the next page. And this is the last page of the book. We have the throttle idle up. You know, most of these screens look about the same, but the technologies in it are different, and I'm thinking like from the weight of this one, you have a little bit more stuff inside, and yeah. Get the engine cut off. Get your boat mode. Go out there motorboating. Okay. So now we go to the brake mixing. Color mode enabled. Get your mixes. Get your servo display. This is pretty tough. This is pretty dope right here, because I don't have one hooked up right now, but like basically you can see exactly where your servo is on this display. So like basically when you have it hooked up and everything, if you press the test and you see how it's starting to move slowly, you will notice that all your servos and all your motors, anything you have connected to your receiver, starts moving, and that basically lets you know that you are getting signal from your transmitter going to your receiver, controlling those devices. And that's pretty dope. I actually had to use that, and I finally figured out what the problem was. And if it wasn't for this, I'd be like trying to call the manufacturer, trying to go on forums and trying to find out, how could I fix this? But this right here led me in the right direction to let me know that my stuff was connected and it was working. I just got to figure out why is it not working when I was trying to do the steering. And it was because I had my exponential turned all the way down, my dual brakes turned all the way down, and I didn't even know it. But I found out through this, and this is pretty dope. And make sure, yes, when you back out of that, it like just cuts it off completely. And so that was okay. Now we're going to the race timer, and this is pretty tight because you could time yourself, so you know how much you do in a quarter mile, in a half block, or around the backyard, in the driveway, wherever you do your runs. You can time yourself. It's pretty dope. And you also have different kind of you could like timer down. So like I have to be around the block and back within like 5 minutes, because that's when dinner is happening and I'm hungry and I need some food. So bam, you got 5 minutes before you gotta go eat some food. It's pretty dope. And then you got your key functions, and this is where you go to where you set up the actual those trigger buttons that I was talking about, where you could mess with your throttle trims or your steering trims, and you also could set up your other channel buttons too, though, like your channel 3 and channel 4. You could set those here, and you could have it toggle or off and on, and that's a lot of options, and a lot of options that your stock remote doesn't have. And I got this one off of Amazon for, what was it, like a little over 130 something. Sometimes you can find them for 150, but they're basically under $200 for these remotes. And like I said, comparing it to the Spectrum DX6R with the $500 price tag, I'll go ahead and stick with less than $200 and get about the, pretty good comparison. Just don't have the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And where was I? Okay, key functions. Now you get the models. I have nothing saved in this one here. Select model. So you got it says 1 through 5, but then you just gotta scroll down. You gotta kind of be careful too, though, because it's kind of touchy sometimes when I'm trying to scroll through it. Sometimes it's better to use a hand. And this one's basically the same way, where you put the name. Ooh, you could like actually change the name right there. But going back out of that, model type, you know, I got my Rampage up in there, my Earthquake, my other Rampage, and you know, you go all the way up to 20 if you could make it without hitting one of the other dang on things. Well, you know that the touchscreen works, that's for sure, but it's kind of sensitive. Just keep that in mind. Line that back up. Now we're gonna go to RX setup, and here is where you want to bind to your receiver. If you like me, I done bought like 4 extra receivers so I can hook up to all my cars and upgrade everything. And you know, basically you would just hit this, and you would like, well, first off, let me say this because I done learned. You want to go over here to your model, and then you want to select whichever model you want to change, and you got like, you know, 20 different memory slots. So you select whichever one, and once you select whichever one you want, then you go over to RX setup. And once you go to RX setup and you have your receiver, everything turned on with the battery, you go to bind with receiver, and then it was saying like, this will enter the bind receiver mode. Are you sure? Because like once you do this, it'll erase whatever memory you had in that slot. So like whatever settings you had, all your trims, all your throttle trims, everything will be gone, and it'll be starting fresh with a new RC. You know, so make sure that you select your model in the select model slot in your memory before you bind your receiver, because you know, you have to go ahead and do your trims all over again. Hopefully you actually remember the numbers, because that's another good thing about this too, though, because you can see the graphical representation of your trims versus the knobs, so you could actually, you know, have a better chance of remembering what your numbers were to reset if you happen to erase something by accident. So that's something, you know, to keep in mind if you want to get this. And you also have your different modes of the automatic frequency hopping digital system mode, and you can turn it on and off. And then over here you got your RX ppm output, your battery monitor. Let's try to compare. So we got the bind receiver, then we have the frequency hopping, and then we have the RX battery monitor. So the RX ppm output, that's something a little bit different on the IT4s that the IT4 doesn't have. And then we go down to low signal alarm. I would love to know if I'm going too far. And the fail safe. Got it for the steering, the throttle, channel 3, channel 4. That's on both. Then we have a display of the sensors. I have nothing up to this one. And I have, well, the receiver has to be turned on with the sensors plugged in for the receiver to send a signal back to the transmitter to let you know which sensors are on and, you know, and working and everything, because you'll see the actual value of the data right here. And then you could choose sensors. over here I have none hooked up, and I don't think it's gonna. Oh yeah, because I already have it set up. Let me see. Yeah, because I don't have none hooked up right now, but because this is the new one, this is the old one, and I've already hooked up my speed sensor, tried it out, temperature. I still have it installed right now, and it works perfect. The voltage, I went on disconnected that because I didn't want to poke a hole in my my battery wires to try to stick that thing up in there. But you could actually stick it on the battery connectors to get it. But I mean, like, you know, it's one of those things you want to read the manual on, so you'll have a better understanding on what you have. And then you have the transmitter voltage. So all this stuff will basically display on this menu here. So you got the speed, the temperature, the voltage, and the transmitter voltage. So you'll know what you're running with at all times. It's pretty dope. And you can set the ASL pressure. I haven't gone through that in the book yet, but it sounds pretty nice. That's for sure. You know, you could adjust the pressure. You always would like to adjust the pressure. But you got the speed and distance. You could pick, you know, like if you want it to be the miles per hour or RPM, but you would want to select that. Well, you got to have it hooked up first, so you can like get more of the other different options that come with it. Because this one says sensor 2, and well, speed sensor 2 is when you have it for the miles per hour, and then the other speed sensor option would be for the RPMs, and like you hooking up to your like pinion or spur or whatever like that. But since I don't have it hooked up, it doesn't give you the options right now though. And then you have your odometer and everything. So I guess you could like see how many miles you've been running. I don't know. Haven't really messed with that too much myself. And you got your servo set up. Your steering, your throttle, channel 3 and channel 4. That's with the old one, and with the new one, I don't really see that servo setup. Yeah, I don't see that on the new one. Oh, okay. But I have the iBus set up, and it's like the same thing because got the throttle, steering, channel 3, channel 4. Guess they just renamed it because you know, when it says throttle, it's actually a motor and not a servo. But anyways, then you have your servo frequency, and it doesn't want you to do anything until you turn on your receiver. So except for that one, you could go ahead and adjust the values. Right now it's on 50. Goes all the way up to 400 hertz and all the way down to 50. And with this one here, it went from 60 up to, I forgot what the lower values were. I mean the upper values, but this right here is pretty nice because you could actually, you know, you have from 50 to 400, which was a lot more than the old version. So, pretty nice. And then you could update your receiver. And I'm guessing that's like when it comes to doing some of the updates with the firmware, you could update your receiver too. I haven't read the manual on that yet, but that sounds pretty nice. And over here we've ran out of options, and over here we're at the end of the list too. But this one also has a range test. And push the button SW2 to reduce the power of the transmitter. Power is normal signal strength. Well, I don't really have the receiver hooked up right now, so we can't really test that out, but that's pretty nice to have. And then we go to the system, and we have the backlight timeout, so you can set it to however long you want it to be on for until it goes dark on you. And you could save your battery by putting it real low, or you can see everything for a while on higher values. And let me see, you could even set the brightness of the backlight, which I never messed with that. And I think I'm gonna put it up here because I know it wastes more battery, but when you're outside in the sun, it's kind of hard to see. And I think I heard somewhere where they actually make sunshades for these, or you can even make your own, but if want to keep that turned up. And you got the system sound, so like when you start up and turn it off, it makes like different sounds and everything. And you have your auto power off, because I left mine the option to power off, auto off, and I somehow bumped the on button and it stayed on for a while, and all of a sudden the battery ran down and I'm hearing this siren, and I'm like, what is that coming from? I done turned down my TV, turned down my stereo, I'm looking out the window like what's going on here? And it was my transmitter telling me that the battery was going down. So you can save your battery, or even if you're running and you're out in the field and everything, and all of a sudden you're about to have a power outage on your transmitter while you're going full throttle on your gas. That's something good to have right there, I would say. And we go ahead and go get the screen calibration. Everything looks the same on that. And you got units, so you could when it comes to your sensors, you can use the metric or imperial when it comes to length, and then the length is with your speed sensor, because you have to adjust it to the length, the height of your tire, so that it knows when the tire makes its revolutions, how to calculate when it hits that sensor, so you get that proper value of speed. And then you have your temperature, which you got your Celsius or your Fahrenheit. I like to keep mine on Fahrenheit, so I just want to switch that for my new one, since I ain't even messed with this one yet with nothing. But I can't wait to do it though. Then you got your USB function. So you have your emulator here. So you can hook it up to do on your PC you got simulators, and you could actually use it as back in the day we had a joystick, and now you can use your actual transmitter just like you do with any other flight simulators with the helis and stuff like that. You got your simulators for your RC cars too, and that's pretty nice for all the beginners. And then you got your language. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it on English for now, because I haven't learned anything else yet. On the box for the old one, it actually says US version. get that. It says US version on there. And so like it was like, you know, no options, you know what I'm saying? But over here you actually got options. And that'd be pretty dope though if you could like eventually update when you go do a firmware update, if you could if they'll update the different languages too. Because you know, I'm pretty sure though they got it in different languages, and depending on the region of where you bought it from, you can get the different languages, you know. And then you get your firmware update. And I don't have it hooked up right now, so I think I might be doing that right before I do my first run. And then you got the factory reset, which I will not press that because I have too much in there. And the same thing with that one too. And there you go, the about the FlySky FS-iT4s and the IT4. Let's go ahead and back it out. And the last thing that we have is the spectrum analyzer. The IT4 old version does not have that, but the new version does. And I have to read what this does and what it's for, what it's about, because I have no clue, but I am showing it to you. Here it go. And so this is my overview, side-by-side comparison of the IT4 and the new IT4s from FlySky. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Deuces. Oh, before I go, I was gonna let y'all know what it sounds like when you turn it off. I almost forgot about that though. Alright, y'all.